In the haze of my childhood memories, I used to harbor a quiet resentment for my grandfather. When I was a boy, my world was a universe of carefree dames, of sun-drenched afternoons spent chasing dragonflies and building forts of imagination. And then he would appear, a towering figure with his tremendous gray beard that seemed to hold all the secrets and sorrows of the world. He would interrupt my blissful ignorance with what I considered boring, repetitive lessons on how to live life. "The world is a tough and unforgiving place for a young man," he would repeat, his voice a low rumble that seemed to shake the very ground I played on. He sought to simplify the labyrinth of other people's lives with his distilled advice. But to me, he was simply the man who distracted me from my games. He was a sage, a man respected and revered by the entire town for his wisdom. But in my childish eyes, he was just an old man who wanted me to grow up far too soon. True understanding, unfortunately, is a currency paid for only by time and experience. It wasn't until after his death, decades later, when I found myself battered and bruised by the harsh realities of that very world he warned me about, that I finally understood. After facing the sting of betrayal, the hollowness of failure, and the crushing weight of loneliness, I began to see the value of his words. While clearing out the attic of his old house, a space that smelled of cedar and forgotten time, I found his diary. Its leather cover was worn and supple, cracked like the skin on the back of his hands. As I opened it, the fragile, yellowed pages whispered a story I was finally ready to hear. His elegant, looping script was not a list of rules, but a map, a guide he had tried to give me for the treacherous journey ahead. "Listen carefully, my son," the first entry read, as if he knew I would one day find it in my moment of need. "And remember this." 1. Life is like a book. Some chapters are deeply sad, some are exhilaratingly happy, and others are simply mundane. But all of them are absolutely necessary to complete the full story. You cannot appreciate the climax without the slow build-up, nor the resolution without the conflict. Do not be so quick to judge your story while you are still in the middle of a difficult chapter. 2. Learn how to change a flat tire on your vehicle. He didn't write this because he wanted me to be a mechanic. He wrote it because he knew there would be moments, on a desolate road in the pouring rain with no one around to help, where the only person who could save me was myself. It was his first lesson in radical self-reliance. 3. If you don't value your time, neither will others. Your time is the finite currency of your life. Guard it fiercely. Learn to say no to invitations, requests, and obligations that do not serve your purpose or bring you joy. Every yes to something trivial is a no to something vital. 4. The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who fight and win battles we know nothing about. I now think of the quiet colleague who always smiled, only to learn later she was caring for a sick parent. My grandfather was teaching me to offer grace as a default setting, for everyone you meet is carrying an invisible mountain. The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. Do not run from hardship. Do not try to numb it or ignore it. Confront it. Interrogate it for its lessons. Let it carve you, for it is through this painful carving that your character is sculpted. Turn your wounds into wisdom. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. Your parents, your friends, your society will all try to write chapters for you. Be grateful for their input, but remember that you are the sole author of your destiny. The final edit is always yours. Practice self-compassion. We are all flawed, fallible human beings. You will make mistakes, stupid, embarrassing, and sometimes hurtful mistakes. Forgive yourself as you would forgive a dear friend. Self-flagellation is not a path to improvement. It is a cage. Time heals almost everything. Give it time, but understand that time itself is not the healer. Time is merely the space in which healing can occur, but you must do the work, the forgiving, the accepting, the learning, the moving on. A good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. In the face of overwhelming stress, never underestimate the profound restorative power of deep, belly-aching laughter and the quiet reset of a full night's rest. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Redefine failure. It is not an endpoint, but a data point. It is life's most effective, albeit most painful, teacher. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is a gift of peace you give to yourself. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is the act of setting a prisoner free only to discover that the prisoner was you. The calmer you are, the clearer you think. Panic is a fog that clouds judgment. In any crisis, your first action should be to take a deep breath. A calm mind is your greatest weapon. Learn to cook a few basic, nourishing dishes. This is not merely a life skill, it's an act of self-care. The ability to nourish your own body is a fundamental form of independence and a simple way to care for those you love. Patience is power. In a world that prizes speed, the ability to wait, to observe, to let things unfold, and to act at the precise right moment is a strategic advantage. What other people think of you is none of your business. Freeing yourself from the prison of others' opinions is one of the most liberating acts you can perform. Their perception is a reflection of them, not you. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. It's the act of paying interest on a debt you may not even owe. Train your mind to distinguish between productive concern, which leads to action, and destructive worry, which leads to paralysis. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. Acknowledge the past, learn from it, and then have the courage to turn the page. The future holds stories you can't yet imagine. The best view comes after the hardest climb. When you are sweating, aching, and wanting to quit, remember that the struggle is the price of admission for the spectacular panorama that awaits at the summit. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Endurance is the less glamorous but often more important sibling of bravery. Always pay off your credit card debt. Financial chains are the most insidious, binding your future to the whims of your past. Financial freedom begins with discipline. The best revenge is massive success. Do not waste your energy on retribution. Channel that fire into building an incredible life. Your happiness will be a fortress they can never touch. A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. Your potential will never be realized in your comfort zone. Life is meant to be lived on the open seas of experience, navigating both storms and serene waters. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. Perfect conditions are a myth that perpetuates procrastination. Start where you are with what you have. Stop wasting your time and energy chasing women. He wrote this with such clarity. Instead, focus on becoming a man of immense value, of deep character, and of unwavering kindness. Cultivate your own garden, your mind, your purpose, your passions. A butterfly is not caught with a net. It is drawn to a vibrant, flourishing flower. The right person will be drawn to your world when your world is a place truly worth visiting. The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. Integrity is the alignment of your thoughts, words, and actions, especially when there is no audience to applaud you. One day, or day one, you decide. Will today be just another day in the long litany of "one day I will," or will it be day one of your new journey? The choice is yours, every single morning. As I closed the diary, the scent of old paper and ink lingering in the air, I felt my grandfather's presence as if he were sitting right there with me. The resentment I held as a child had melted away, replaced by a profound wave of gratitude and a sorrowful regret for all the years I had been deaf to his wisdom. His words were no longer boring lessons. They were a lifeline, a legacy of love forged into practical advice. Today, I hold the pen to my own life story. And when I face the inevitable storms, I no longer feel lost. I simply take a deep breath, open the pages of my memory, and listen to the quiet, steady voice of the sage with the tremendous gray beard whom I was lucky enough to call my grandfather. His lessons, which I once hated, have become the very foundation upon which I have rebuilt my life.